Hey everybody, Justin here with From Zero to Studio, and today we're talking about acoustic treatment on the ceiling. In many home studios, people will treat their front, back, and side walls with acoustic panels or some sort of sound treatment. However, one area that's often overlooked is, you guessed it, the ceiling. Most rooms in a standard home have a floor and ceiling that are parallel to each other, and this can cause issues with accurate monitoring in your listening position. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to install acoustic panels on the ceiling so you can create your own acoustic cloud. Also, did you know that you can build your own acoustic panels at a fraction of the cost of buying them? If you want to learn how to do that, you can download my free DIY acoustic panel guide. This guide walks you through the entire process step by step, and it'll help to improve your home studio space while saving you money. Just go to FromZeroToStudio.com/DIY or click the link below in the description and you can download the guide there. All right, let's dive in. The cloud I'm hanging in this video consists of 4 acoustic panels that are 4 feet tall and 2 feet wide, giving me a total cloud width of 8 feet. Acoustic clouds can be pretty heavy and should be mounted to the ceiling joists. So first, you'll need to determine the ceiling joist direction. For a quick reference, you can look at the slope of your roof. In most cases, the joists will run the same direction as the roof slopes, but of course, you should use a stud finder to confirm this. The direction that the ceiling joists run and the spacing of the joists will determine how you'll be able to attach the acoustic cloud to the ceiling. In some rare cases, you may be able to hang it directly from the joists with the cloud in perfect position, but that's not always likely. I recommend attaching boards to the joists and then hanging your clouds from these boards. If the joists run front to back, you could run a board across the entire front position of the cloud and a board across the entire rear position of the cloud. This will give you plenty of mounting options. If the joists run left to right, you would have to attach the board at the side positions of your cloud and at any additional mounting points in between. This was the situation in my case. Using a stud finder, mark each of the joists that will be above the cloud so you can visibly see all of your possible mounting points. Mark these for the full length and width of your acoustic cloud, plus an extra foot or so on each side for good measure. I used small pieces of blue painter's tape so that it was easily visible and easily removable. I also placed each mark at about every 6 inches to 1 foot apart. Stud finders aren't always 100% accurate on recognizing the center of a stud, so this would allow for the best average of center between all of the markings. Using a chalk line and help from a friend, mark each of the ceiling joists that you've just mapped out. You should be able to see the average center and snap the line there. Once the joists are marked with a chalk line, find the center of your listening position and mark this on the ceiling as well. This will give you a solid visual reference point for where the center of your cloud will be. I also marked this down the wall along with markings for the outer edges of the cloud. I probably took more time on the prep work for this project than it took to put it all together, but it made for an extremely accurate installation. After measuring and marking the board placements on the ceiling along with the screw placements, cut 1x4 boards to length for your mounting position and drill pilot holes. My boards will run along the outer edges of the cloud and also where each cloud panel meet, so I'll need 5 boards. Because of the cloud placement in my room, I could only attach the boards to 2 ceiling joists, and they happen to be pretty centered on the board. To help eliminate any possible sag on the outer edges of the boards where the mounting hardware will be attached, I opted to add anchors into the drywall on each end so that I could have 4 additional screw points per board and more support for the cloud. Before attaching the boards to the ceiling, I recommend that you preset each of the screws and screw eyes to avoid fighting with this overhead. For me, this made it easy to mount things in place without dropping anything, or worse, having the board fall and damage some gear below. After installing the boards, you can attach the additional mounting hardware. I started with S-hooks, which will be attached to chains and then the chains to the cloud. Note that I crimped the end of each S-hook to avoid any possibility of it accidentally coming apart. I also attached S-hooks to the screw eyes on the back of each acoustic panel to be able to connect the chains. Using bolt cutters or a chain cutter, cut the chains to length. I went for an angled cloud, so I did 2 links in the front and 9 links in the back. This gave me the flexibility to adjust the angle of the cloud as needed, and ultimately, I ended up raising the back by 1 link. Notice in this picture that each of the 4 acoustic panels has a chain attached to each corner, and then that chain goes to a central screw eye on the board. So 2 panels will share the same board. Before hanging the cloud, I decided to screw together each of the panels. This way they would align perfectly when hanging and could go up as one large piece. When it comes time to hang your cloud, be sure to have someone help you. I somehow managed to get this thing up on the ceiling all by myself, but forgot to start recording on the camera to capture the struggle. There was no way I was taking it back down to film it again. However, here's how I did it. I supported the cloud on a folding table and stood it up on its edge. I raised one corner and hooked it onto the chain, and then hooked up the other corner. Once the front chains were all attached to the cloud and it was hanging like a pendulum, I then swung the back up and attached it to the rear chains. At that point, the acoustic cloud installation was complete, and here is the final result. So that's how I hung my acoustic cloud panels on the ceiling. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Now obviously, you might have to do a few things different based on your room, your cloud panels, or even your ceiling joist locations, but the basic idea is the same, and it should be enough to get you up and running to hang some acoustic treatment. And also, if you want that free guide that'll walk you through how to build your own acoustic panels step by step, you can download my DIY acoustic panel guide. It's absolutely free. Just go to FromZeroToStudio.com/DIY or click the link below in the description, and you could start improving your room, improving your recordings, and improving your mixes. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. I'll see you on another video soon.